Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I am Walter Bruno, owner of Adriatica Chiusure e Chiusure Industriali. Our sales network, which is steadily growing and progressively expanding into new international markets, has made it essential for us to create a video presentation that is both comprehensive and communicative. The aim is to clearly and thoroughly convey the distinctive added values within the Adriatica Chiusure production process, values that set us apart from our competitors. In this presentation, I will break down these added values into specific thematic areas. Let's begin with the type of construction we adopt. Adriatica Chiusure has always embraced the welded truss construction method, a choice that reflects our commitment to structural integrity, long-term durability, and high-quality standards. To truly perform well and deliver top-level quality on this type of product, welded trusses, Adriatica Chiusure has made clear and forward-thinking choices, becoming ISO 1090 certified for CE marking in structural carpentry. This certification places the company in a highly serious and regulated field, and Adriatica Chiusure has always embraced seriousness, precision, and high standards. So, adopting the welded technique for Adriatica Chiusure meant completely reconverting their welding machines. At one point, despite the machines still being fully functional, they decided to move them aside and replace them with new ones. These new welders, which are German EWM welders, were purchased to meet the high standards required for this type of work and ensure better performance. 4 0 points connected to the company's network that ensure the traceability of electrical current intensity, electrical voltage, and dissolved materials on every single weld seam of your iron trusses. It's important to understand that there is a significant distinction, a dividing line, between those who aim to operate in the market with seriousness and professionalism and those who, unlike us, continue to act like the innkeeper who claims to mix the best wine in the world but fails to go into the details and prove it with proper documentation, something we take great care to do. Our welders, as I have already explained, are networked, and through the connection ports, being 4 0 points, they generate printouts that are fully available to you. On these printouts, you will find the complete traceability of every weld made on your projects. This is the real, transparent way to demonstrate compliance with ISO 1090. It's essential to understand what it means to be in line with ISO 1090. It means that every thickness of tubing that is welded must correspond, as required by the standard, to a specific amperage and voltage. This ensures that every weld meets the necessary standards for strength, durability, and safety, and that there are no compromises in the process. And there must be a certain input of dissolved material. Now, how can you be told that you are certified and that you are operating within this certification if you don't give these printouts? Well, what do we ask of you? We ask that you recognize and reward the seriousness of Adriatica Chiusure, the only company to our knowledge that provides complete traceability of everything we do. This is our commitment to transparency, professionalism, and respect for our clients, ensuring that all aspects of our work meet the highest standards. What we do within our company is synonymous with seriousness, professional fairness, and respect for our clients. Another important aspect was related to the type of welding machines. Anyone who chews a little bit of carpentry knows that the choice of EWMs means having made a choice that points to the Olympus, so to the top of the range of welders at the European level, and that is what we have done. The difference, this is something I would like to talk to you about, the difference between the welded product, which is what we do with the added values we just described to you, versus the bolted. Now it is clear that if I go to buy a bolted product where the unifilar truss system is held up by a multitude of bolt and plate tightenings, it should be explained in the right way, with full transparency. If I am a seller and come to you to offer a bolted truss, there are at least certain important aspects that need to be carefully addressed to ensure you fully understand how the system works and its structural integrity. Several companies now, I don't want to quantify them, that have focused on the choice of bolted in order to go and industrialize all the processes, obviously, of construction of their structures. However, they often fail to tell you that the UNI standard with respect to bolted products is extremely clear. Now, the moment I go to assemble a truss with bolts, I should, in order, provide you with self-locking bolts to ensure stability and strength. Now, check it for yourself when you buy. They never put them in. The reason is that self-locking bolts require the fitters to take much longer for tightening, which they don't want to do. Fitters, especially those who are often subcontractors, are typically under pressure to complete the jobs quickly and at a low cost. they don't have time to waste on self-locking bolt tightenings. So in many cases, they don't even supply you with these bolts and skip this important step to save time and meet deadlines. There should be the tester at the end of assembly. The tester, let me premise that he is super partes, is put in by the client and is responsible for verifying in the bolted structures that self-locking bolts have been used and that the bolt tightenings are done according to standard. The standard says that the tightenings must be done with a certain pressure. So this must be stated, therefore translated. It is almost never done in the one and the other, so these things are not communicated to you. The bolts that are used, unlike those of us who believe in the welded technique, are not self-locking, so unbeknownst to you. You often find yourself with structures that are not even made according to the rules of clearances and according to the law. But there is another element that if I go and put a bolt that is not self-locking these structures during their life, as they have to withstand a number of different actions, including strong winds, heavy snow, and even earthquakes. However, let me take a step back and revisit the issue of wind. When the wind impacts these structures, it inevitably causes a series of what I would call vibrations or movements. And so these bolts that are often not self-locking tend to have slight loosenings in the tightening. You should understand that the diagonal strut system that is responsible for holding your truss together is absolutely crucial for maintaining its integrity. The moment that warranty fails, the responsibility shifts. You, as the stewards of the structure, are always fully sympathetic to the choices you make at the moment of purchase. This sympathy and responsibility extend for the entire nominal lifespan of that structure. So if a truss were to collapse and fall on the head of your employees, or worse, your customers, the consequences could be dire. You will be fully responsible for the purchase you decide to make, as it is a significant commitment. This is a major responsibility, in my opinion, because whatever you choose to put on your head at that moment directly reflects the type of product you select. That's why we firmly believe in the quality of the weld, but not just any weld. We're talking about a weld made with specific construction criteria, which are exactly the ones we just explained to you in detail. This approach ensures the highest standards. Additionally, we have other added values. For instance, the truss leg element connection system, technically known as the knot, is designed in a way that all the engineers who are accustomed to doing structural inspections of these structures know that they are what we refer to as the black beasts are essentially the critical points where, in most cases, structures tend to collapse. These are the areas where the leg connects to the truss. To address this, we have reinforced plates. We go to great lengths to use materials of exceptional quality for our structures, especially since they are extraordinarily large. For this, we use thicknesses that are never below 6 or 8 millimeters, unlike some of our competitors who even go as far as using only 4 or 5 millimeters, which is far less reliable. May seem like little stuff, but I can guarantee you that when you put it on the verification program, it's the difference between life or death in terms of safety return for you. Plus, they have a very large surface area, not the least of which are our plates, that are the ones that slide the sheet from the top current to the leg, are completely rounded, and inside there's the craftsmanship that we continue to carry on, despite the fact that our company no longer has the same numbers that would typically allow us to be considered an artisanal business. However, the obsessive attention to detail from an ownership that has an almost exaggerated focus on quality has remained constant. This is why we've also decided to introduce a special casing that surrounds the fabric to ensure it never goes into friction. We've gone the extra mile to avoid the differences that some of our competitors still use, like sharp 45-degree corners. This particular design flaw can result in the possibility of the sheet breaking through. Now, let me make this clear. This is something you won't see happening immediately, today, tomorrow, or even in the near future. You can rest assured that your bank receipts will be there to pay them all. But a few years later, that's when the problems start to show. That's when the sheet will begin to break through, water will get inside, and issues will begin to arise. It's at that point that you'll realize what a mistake it was to go with that cheaper option. Of course, during the negotiation phase, they won't tell you this. Cutting corners by using 45-degree cuts and creating joints without the hassle or extra cost of making plates the way we do, by rounding them off and adding casings, is clearly cheaper for them. It's all about economy of scale, and they save a lot of money. But make no mistake, they're not doing your interests any favors. They are not giving you a quality product. I understand that it is difficult at the time when you go for analysis and you have to buy to be careful about these details. But these details are the ones that make the real difference between those who want to give you a quality product and those who only look at their pockets. When it comes to hot dip galvanizing, we have made the conscious decision to offer you only and only hot dip galvanizing, unlike some of our competitors. You should know that there are those who, unlike us, do not first weld the black iron and then send it for galvanizing through the hot dip process. Instead, they choose to buy pre-galvanized profiles, known as Senzimir galvanized profiles. These profiles are then put into the machine, cut, and drilled. What they don't tell you though is that when a galvanized profile is cut or drilled, the protective layer of zinc is compromised. At the points where the profile is cut and drilled, the protective galvanizing immediately starts to break down, allowing oxide and rust to take root. Compared to others, who may use Zeta 140 galvanized profiles, that number 140 corresponds to the micron level of zinc protection used. In contrast, we employ the hot dip galvanizing method, which results in a product that is designed to last a lifetime. We offer a minimum of 550 microns of zinc coating, which is already 5 times higher than what they provide. In fact, our zinc levels can reach peaks of 700 to 800 microns. It's clear that our hot dip galvanized products are practically eternal. This durability allows our structures to be used in various fields, including animal husbandry. In fact, when our structures are exposed to animal manure, which is a typical part of animal farming, they do not face any issues thanks to the type of galvanizing treatment we apply. On the other hand, those who purchase Senzimir galvanized profiles save a significant amount on galvanizing costs, but I can assure you that this savings comes at a much higher price in terms of quality. You may save money up front, but after a short period, you'll see the consequences. Your structures will inevitably start rusting, and the durability you thought you were getting will be completely gone. And I'm not just making this up. All you need to do is visit the areas where these profiles have been used and observe how they perform, especially where they have been cut or drilled. It's clear to see where the issues begin, and the results will quickly reveal whether you've been treated properly. The truth is, some of these companies, in an attempt to hide the problems I'm talking about, use hugging profiles around the areas where the profiles are cut. They do this not because they are being considerate and trying to provide you with a product that is more aesthetically pleasing, but simply because they want to conceal the oxidation problem that inevitably arises at the points where the profiles are cut. This explanation was simply to provide clarity regarding the purely qualitative aspects that have always distinguished us from others. In addition to this, we also developed a product called Adria Box. The Adria Box is a product specifically designed for temporary use, and as such, it must meet certain standards. It is a structure that is intended to have a nominal life of no more than 50 years for Type 2, but for Type 1, the expected lifespan is only 10 years. A product that is mounted on foundation beads that we give and that don't create any kind of thought for you at the time you have to go and install it, because you don't have to do foundations anything. But they are by definition structures that are mounted for a period, as the word says, of the structure temporary. In this case, yes, they are Senzimir galvanized. The only product that Adriatica closures from galvanized Senzimir. We have widths of 6, 8, 10, and it's a product that was born in a dedicated way, thinking especially about the export discourse. So it's a product that we want to take around the world because it's a practical product. It's a product that's delivered in a short time. It's a performance product because it can give 100 kilos of snow load per square meter, 100 kilometers of thrust per hour to the wind, and has all the characteristics according to a standard. We give certification according to UNI standard. We are also manufacturers of rapid doors, which means we handle every step of the process in-house. We start from the coils, developing, straightening, shearing, pressing, and folding to create our rapid packer doors, self-repairing doors, and large span doors. Now, what do we mean by large span doors? Okay. These are specially designed doors with exceptional dimensions, and we offer Class 2 wind resistance certified products that can reach widths of up to 11 and 40 meters with heights of up to 6 and 80 meters. I believe I have provided a sufficiently detailed overview to give you a very clear understanding of what Adriatica Chiusure produces in terms of quality. With this, I hope that we will soon have the opportunity to count you among our most valued and loyal customers. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all a great day ahead.